Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to the Cool Kids Lunch Table Podcast with PJ and Mike. Now find yourself a seat at their table.
Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Cool Kids Lunch Table Podcast with PJ and Mike. I'm PJ.
And I'm Mike.
And we took a week off. We had some stuff to do, but while we were out, we saw some movies, and we are going to review those movies. I'll be reviewing the brand new Marvel Cinematic Universe release, Captain America, Brave New World. Mike will be reviewing, I think the movie came out a couple years ago.
It's actually, not even a year ago.
Not even a year ago?
Yeah,
it feels like it was like 2
I
years
know.
ago.
The 2020.
The Fall Guy.
Yes. That's starring Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. And there's a reason why I wanted to actually, I just saw it like 2 days ago, so it kind of matched up perfectly with that PJ saw the new Captain America. And I'll get into that. But PJ first is going to review Captain America, Brave New World. And PJ, let me tell you something. I consider you very brave seeing this movie and paying money to see this movie. Because this movie,
absolutely.
I felt like no one was, I'm not trying to hate on it. It's just, I had no interest in it, man. I had zero.
It's a struggle for all the new Marvel movies, but I still see them. I try to see them early because even in the worst one, I still need to be able to talk to it because if I'm in the comic book store, everyone wants to talk about the new movie. So I see all of these things, and I didn't have much faith going into this one. So let me run down the cast real quick, just so everyone knows who we're talking about. We have Anthony Mackie, who has been in almost all of these movies at this point, as Sam Wilson, the new Captain America, formerly the Falcon.
Yep.
Harrison Ford is Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross. He replaced the original Thunderbolt Ross because that actor I forget who it was.
Was that
William Hurt?
Yeah.
I think it was. He passed away in 2022.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we had to replace him, and we replaced him with Harrison Ford. Danny Ramirez plays Joaquin Torres, who is the new Falcon. And then some other people of note in this movie will be Shira Haas, who plays Ruth Bat Saraf, who is the president's chief of security or chief of whatever, I guess like a Secret Service kind of thing. Carl Lumbly, who, if you watch the Captain America and Falcon or Falcon and Winter Soldier, whatever the hell the name of that TV show was on Disney Plus, he plays Isaiah Bradley. You have Tim Blake Nelson playing Samuel Stearns. That's going to be important in a little while. I'll tell you why. And Giancarlo Esposito playing Sidewinder, one of the villains. Those are your main people in this movie. Figured I'd go through cast and crew.
Yeah,
it's not really a star-studded event when you think about all the other Marvel movies. The Harrison Ford, obviously the biggest star in the movie. It's a lot for Anthony Mackie to have to be the anchor for this movie. I'm sure he's a very nice guy in real life. He was fine when he was a side character. He's not the leading man that you need in a movie like this.
Yeah,
but
I don't want to jump ahead or anything. Well, I just want to add this more thing too. It's directed by Julius Ona. He also directed The Girl Is in Trouble, The Cloverfield Paradox, and a movie called Loose. I know he got his foot in the door at some other franchises, so he is legitimate. But I'll say this, PJ, because I'm excited to hear how the movie went. But I'll say this about the Marvel films. I always felt throughout the whole shebang since they first started, I always felt the issue was never acting. I thought everyone did overall, everyone did a good acting. I never felt anyone was like, oh, they're bad. I think anything that was bad is really, that comes to writing and that becomes directing. So I know people might go like, Alison Brie in Marvel, because her character is kind of, at points, very stoic, and other points just like kind of silly, I'll say.
That's the role they gave her.
Exactly. So that's not, so... Right. Truthfully, I think Anthony Mackie's a very good actor. I think it's hard for him to make the script work. And also, I think it's very hard. I know, PJ, you're the expert with the comic book stuff, but I think it's very hard for someone to fill in, he's like replacing a giant role. And I don't know how the comic book world, particularly with the storyline, is, but I think they should have just kept him in this universe, in terms of movie franchise, make Falcon just this whole American Falcon. That's it. Exactly. Yeah. Captain Falcon, he can have S.H.I.E.L.D., but he still keeps that he just uses this. That's my opinion. But anyway,
So, yeah, I mean, they did not go the route of the comics. Sam Wilson does become Captain America in the comics in a much different way, but So this movie starts off with us finding out who the new president of the United States is, and Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross. And folks, there's going to be spoilers. Deal with it. I don't know what to tell you. Because I can't talk about the movie and not drop some spoilers. Most of this stuff,
we will survive.
yeah, most of this stuff honestly revealed in the trailer. There's not a whole tremendous amount of stuff that happens in this movie that you can't pick out from the trailer. So Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross becomes the president of the United States of America. He's elected, and his big thing is he's trying to start a treaty, because this goes all the way back to Eternals. This is one of the things I did like about the movie. I don't know if you saw the Eternals.
No.
But, in the Eternals, we have the big reveal of the Celestial in the ice in the Indian Ocean, and it gets frozen, right? And now all the different countries are trying to mine the leftover corpse of the Celestial, and it's becoming hostile. And Thaddeus Ross is the person spearheading an effort to put together a treaty so that no one's going to war over the elements in here. Okay.
Right.
What you find out is that what everyone's trying to harvest from this husk is adamantium.
Oh. Was that always how antimony originated from? I thought it was just from Earth,
I think it was just like a rare metal compound.
Right, that's what I thought.
It wasn't
but in this universe they're getting it from another storyline. Okay, all right, fine.
So it's fine. I mean, you got to introduce it somehow. It was inevitable. We were never going to get X-Men. We knew they were coming. This is how we're going to start. You wouldn't introduce adamantium if you're not giving us Wolverine. So
yeah,
this is probably where that starts. So this is how he gets elected, right? He wants to be the guy who brings this little, not war, but conflict to a resolution, whatever. And it's fine. It's fine. It's a fine setup for the rest of the movie. It is what it is. Then we have this little situation where Captain America has to go on a mission because someone has stolen some of the adamantium from the Japanese people, and Captain America is dispatched to retrieve it so that America can say, look, we're on everyone's side. We're bringing back to you what was stolen. We're not trying to steal it. All this kind of shit. And that's when you meet Giancarlo Esposito, who plays a character called Sidewinder. This is a giant waste of talent for Giancarlo Esposito, who should have been a Norman Osborn level character or someone bigger.
Yeah, for folks at home, this is the guy from Breaking Bad. He played Gus, and he's like the big boss in that.
Yeah, he was also in The Mandalorian.
Yep. He's also.
I think he was in something else recently too.
Yeah, I think for old school folks, he's actually in Do the Right Thing. He plays Bugging Out. Yeah, so he almost looks like totally different people. I mean, obviously he was very younger, but he looks. He embodies totally differently. But now he's always
great actor.
Yeah, I know he's been kind of playing the Gus role. He's always kind of been the bad guy now. But anyway, it's still he's an awesome actor. I mean,
awesome actor, really one of the best actors working right now, probably.
Oh, no question.
Put him in such a small role. I don't know why we did this. We couldn't find a better role for this guy, but I think he just happened to become available, and they scooped him up. So here's the problem. There is a whole subset of stuff spoken about in this movie that you never see. The adamantium was supposed to have been stolen by a Serpent Society, was what they were called. And Seth Rollins, the WWE wrestler, was supposed to be part of that. My understanding from what I read on the internet is it didn't test well with audiences. They cut all the Serpent Society stuff. So you don't know who.
I was gonna say I know there's been a lot of reshoots with this. It had a different name. I think it was called originally
New World Order.
Yeah, so they've been through a lot of right. Yikes.
So now they keep referencing this Serpent Society, and he keeps trying to get the adamantium from Giancarlo, who's Sidewinder, and all throughout the movie they keep saying the Serpent Society, but you never really see it. So all that shit was cut. It feels very disjointed. Like you feel like you should know more about something than you actually do. That's my first complaint about the movie. But whatever. That's not in the movie, so I can't critique how that is, right? It's just you can feel it's missing. But anyway, Captain America is chasing the bad guys. The bad guys are going in two different directions, so we need help because Captain America can't be in two places at once. Enter Joaquin, who is his new sidekick, the new Falcon.
Hmm.
And I think he might wear an older version of the Falcon, or like that Mackie used to wear, Sam Wilson used to wear.
Right.
Maybe just colored differently, but it looks very similar to the old Falcon outfit, so I don't know if it's the same one. And he flies off and he helps, and then you find out basically Falcon is his new Bucky, right? Captain America had Bucky.
Right.
Now Captain America has Falcon.
Yeah, okay.
They do a good job. Everyone's happy. Great. So now this is like his first real mission, Joaquin. So he wants to be trained more so he can be as good as Captain America.
Yeah.
And so who can train him is the question. He goes to Isaiah Bradley, who is we met him in the TV show, the Falcon Winter Soldier, but he plays Isaiah Bradley, who is the first Captain America after Steve Rogers. The government experimented on him with all the different super soldier serums, locked him away for 30-something years. They talk about this. I'm not going to go through his whole origin, because they talk about it on the TV show. He is now going to train the new Falcon.
Right. Because
Sam trusts him. Great. While they're training, Sam's phone rings. It's the president. He wants him to come to the White House. Sam Wilson, this is very contrived. Sam Wilson says, fine, I'll come, but only if you let Isaiah come with me. Why? Just why? You know immediately, like, this is going to lead to something.
Yeah.
Like, it just was weird. Like, he has nothing to do with anything. He's just an old man training a guy now, but Sam wants to bring him. Fine, whatever. We blow past it. They go to the White House, and this sets off a series of events where everyone's mind is kind of being controlled, and there's an assassination attempt on Thunderbolt Ross.
So there was an assassination attempt on Harrison Ford, correct?
Yes.
PJ, quick trivia question. What other movie did Harrison Ford play the president?
Air Force One.
Oh, nice. I'm like, this guy, he got reelected. Okay, so
yeah, he's reelected. He's back. He's back. So now, obviously, they're at the reason they go to the White House is for these treaties. It's all about this treaty. The whole movie is based on this treaty. And now, because there's an assassination attempt in the White House, all the other countries are like, how could this guy lead a peace treaty? He's getting shot in his own house.
Right.
And there you go. Right now we have to. One of the people that gets mind controlled is Isaiah Bradley. And so now he gets locked away. Sam Wilson wants to prove he's innocent. That's your kickoff for the movie, right?
Right.
This is all basically your setup for what's happening. And I'll pause here and I'll review this is maybe the first 30, 40 minutes of the movie.
Wow.
That we just went through. Yeah. Yeah. It's about a good 30 minutes.
How long is this movie?
It is less than 2 hours.
Oh, it's okay. And it feels okay. Less than 2. That's good though. That's
good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's less than 2 hours. This is maybe a third or a quarter of the movie is this whole setup.
All right.
Then we get to the investigation part, right? The president, Thunderbolt Ross, doesn't want Sam Wilson working on this anymore because he's too close to it, because he's friends with Isaiah Bradley. It doesn't look good for the country if Captain America is investigating, trying to clear the name of an assassin, the whole thing. So he's off the case, right? President says, let my people handle it. That's when his chief of security gets involved. She's going to be the one to investigate it. Sam is going to investigate on his own. They try very hard to make this feel Winter Soldier-y.
Mm-hmm.
You remember in Winter Soldier, they go into like the old bunker and they're like going through old files, and that's how they find out Bucky is the Winter Soldier and the trigger words and all this shit.
Right. Mm-hmm.
They go back to the well, and once again we have to go back to what is a secret government army base, and they have to break in. And you're like, all right. That's when you really figure out who the villain of the movie is going to be. This goes back to 2008.
Wow.
Nobody's going to remember this. This is all tied into the Incredible Hulk movie.
With Edward Norton?
With Edward Norton.
Wow. Okay.
Nobody's going to remember this because the movie wasn't bad. I'm not saying that was a bad Hulk movie. The Hulk, it was fine. It was fine, but it wasn't big. It wasn't like the biggest Marvel release. It's never been addressed in any of the other
Exactly.
movies again, other than the fact that Thunderbolt Ross shows up here and there, and we have a Hulk,
Mm-hmm.
and the Abomination shows up in Shang-Chi. Well,
Yep.
we never talk about the Hulk movie.
Mm-hmm.
This all ties into that Hulk movie.
Wow.
Yeah, so the
So this is
villain
like a somewhat of a spiritual sequel.
it is more of a spiritual sequel to the Incredible Hulk and the Eternals than it is to a Captain America movie.
Wow. Okay.
This
Didn't see
movie
that.
desperately needed the Hulk because
Well, yeah. Once you have, well, I guess we'll find out how we saw the trailer. We know Red Hulk's in it, but I'm
Yeah.
hoping you'll share a spoiler. I hope that happens. But continue.
oh yeah, well, well. So anyway, we find out that the leader who was in the one of the bad guys from the Incredible Hulk movie has been gamma radiated and everything else. So he's got a big old. If you're familiar with the comics, he's got a big old brain head because
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
super smart and probability and all this other shit that he can figure out what's going to happen. He's been controlling everything, mind controlling people so that they attack to basically tear the treaty apart because he wants Thunderbolt Ross to look bad because Ross is the reason he's locked in this
Yeah.
in this fort, right? I'm gonna skip a lot of the stuff that's not that important.
Yeah.
So, we find this out. Um, Thunderbolt Ross wants to go to the Celestial and he wants to try and cut everything off and be there and bring peace. And Japan is going there and they're gonna try. They don't want to be part of the treaty anymore because the president's weak, all those bullshit. And then there's a fight, and Captain America swoops in. He has to save the day because he knows the truth now. And all this time, you see the president taking pills throughout the entire movie. And it's kind of like a nitro pill, you put it under your tongue.
Yeah.
That's the impression you get when he takes these pills. And you say, all right, well, he's an old man and his heart's probably giving out, so he's taking these pills.
Well, so they ever say why he's taking those pills? Like, this is their,
Throughout the course of the movie, you really he always looks like he's struggling, he's sweating, he looks like he's like having a hard time breathing.
Oh,
And then
so
he pops a
all right.
pill.
So they imply it like that he takes
They
it for.
imply
Okay,
right.
okay. So no one
You
says like,
you
"Oh,
cut
take your heart medication, sir."
Yeah, it's like one of those kind of things.
Right.
And then you come to learn those are gamma pills that the leader has been secretly poisoning him with. And it's not that he's having a heart attack, it's just when he gets anxious or angry, he's about to Hulk out, and he takes one of these pills or whatever, and this is just fueling him more, right? And he doesn't realize it because it's like a placebo effect. He takes this pill and he feels better, but really he's just building the gamma up for all these years. Eventually, we get to a point where everyone's on the same page again. We have a press conference. The leader hijacks the announcer system, the PA system,
Right.
and plays some audio footage of them conspiring years, about something that happened years ago. And Ross gets mad. He hulks out. We finally see the Red Hulk. With maybe 30 minutes left to the movie, you see the Red Hulk.
Wow. Okay.
You don't see him at all. There's a battle between Captain America and the Hulk. You would think Captain America would lose because he's a regular human.
Right. Well, I heard that he like before he fights him, I guess they do like almost like a commando thing. Like he starts like puts a bunch of gear on.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
He gets like fitted with like uses the antimantium, all that stuff to.
Yeah, it's basically what it is. It's the fight doesn't last long because it's how could it?
Right.
And you can't have an ending where they actually beat each other up because he would die because he's a regular guy in red, white, and blue pajamas, so he'd be dead.
Right.
So
just up as a bird, right?
Right.
I don't know if he's still doing
and
the
it's
Falcon
like
thing.
they fight a little bit. There's some good action, not great action, but some good action. And then eventually he calms him down by telling him this isn't what your daughter would want. Blah blah blah. And
right.
and then he calms back down.
That family thing has been a really good thing. It saved a lot of heroes.
It really has.
Batman, Superman, Deadpool, Wolverine.
So
they used to keep using this thing. Spider-Man. Think about Uncle Ben.
It's all about family. It's all about family. Fast and the Furious, all about family.
Yeah.
It's he gets that's it. That's basically it. He calms him down. He gets locked up. We clear Isaiah Bradley's name. Credits. Like, there's not much more to
So,
spoil.
right. So I guess PJ, I was hoping because when I saw her, in these trailers, like, oh man, maybe like the big reveal is, and look, I mean, it is what it is. Marvel does this all the time, where it's someone's movie, but someone else kind of steals the show, And I was hoping, oh man, maybe they're gonna bring back the Green Hulk, regular
Nope.
Hulk, to like kind of save the day, bring it back to him having balls, not him wearing
Yeah, we get
wearing
no Hulk Hogan on the
glasses.
red one. It's here's the thing. It's not the worst movie I've ever seen, right? The first half hour, the setup, you're intrigued by what's going on. They throw some adamantium at you. It's got some political thriller vibes. You have Captain America, you're introduced. It's fine. It's really not bad. First 30 minutes of the movie, you start to say, all right, I get what they're building to. Hopefully this is gonna really blow up in the second act. And then the second act hits, and it's very disjointed. You can feel all the cuts they made. You can feel the editing they had to do with all the reshoots. You can just, as soon as that second act hits, it's a completely downhill.
Yeah.
Because the vibe of the movie just doesn't work with all the stuff they cut out.
It was doomed from the
drag
start
to watch it.
Yeah, it was doomed from the start, And
Yeah.
I obviously I didn't see it. It just seems like a film that like it could never have been great. I hate to say that. It was just too many things that were just going wrong, and I
Yeah,
think
and
obviously
it's
they
a
were trying to
shame because
save.
I bet you if they would have left it alone, it would have been halfway decent. Not great, but halfway decent. But all the stuff they did really tanks the film. They changed so many of the characters' origins, and I know that nobody cares about that but me. But the whole reason he becomes the red, here's why I say it. In the comic books, the reason he becomes the Red Hulk is Ross always wants to take out the Green Hulk, and he makes himself the Red Hulk so he can finally take this guy down on his own. Nobody else can do it. I have to do it. He becomes a Red Hulk, and there's like a reason for it. And
Well, that sounds more exciting to me though, because like
right,
people want a heavyweight match. Everyone wants. You
right.
want the two guys. So I don't know why like you don't want him fighting. You want him to fight Captain. I mean, you don't want him to fight Captain. You want him to fight. If
Right,
you're
and
gonna fight, if you're gonna fight Captain America, you want him to fight the one that we want, Steve Rogers. Not no disrespect to Sam Wilson, and like
It
just
exactly.
like I said, very flawed from the beginning, and
it just there's no like you can't root for the Red Hulk. You can't root against the Red Hulk. You just like he's just there. And like you said, no one wants to see him fight Captain America. You want to see him fight the Hulk. So the whole reason the Red Hulk exists is to fight the Green Hulk. Now he's the Red Hulk. He doesn't even have any idea that he is the Red Hulk until it happens.
Yeah.
Takes everything out of it. There's just no
I heard
no story.
Yeah, now isn't it true that Liv Tyler's also in it?
Yeah, she does come back at the very end.
Wow.
She makes an appearance as Betty Ross when he's in prison. And it's like 2 seconds.
Oh, okay. It was like okay.
Literally a 2-second cameo.
Was, if those know from the one from 2008, she's she plays Bruce Banner's girlfriend.
Yeah.
So.
It's a cameo. She shows up 2 seconds while he's in prison. And that's all. That's all you get out of it.
So, Peter, you said it's not the worst film ever, but what about in terms of the Marvel universe? Where is this rank? Is this middle of the road, kind of forgettable, or is this?
Oh, it's forgettable. I don't think it's
bottom of the barrel.
It's definitely in the bottom quarter of movies. But
okay, of their catalogs. Okay.
If there are 4 quartiles, and you have your best, right?
Yeah.
This is probably the top of the 4th quartile.
Okay.
If that helps. I mean,
yeah.
It's serviceable. It sets up what's going to happen in the future. You find out Bucky is running for Congress. You know that's going to lead into Thunderbolts, the movie The Thunderbolts, because we know he's in it. So he probably gets pulled into some shenanigans there. It sets it up a little bit. It sets up what they're going to do with the X-Men because they give you adamantium. It does set other things up. It just does it in such an uninteresting manner that it's forgettable.
Yeah. So what's better? Is Eternals better than this, or?
I mean, is Eternals better than this? Probably not. But this isn't much better than Eternals.
Right. Okay.
In my opinion.
Right. So better than that, but not.
I mean, it's not. it's not as good as Winter Soldier. It's not as good as the
Oh
first
yeah,
Avenger.
oh yeah,
It's not
those
as good
are
as Civil
yeah,
War. If you wanted to compare all the Captain America movies, this is the worst of the bunch of those.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's unfair to Anthony Mackie to be put in that position because everyone's going to blame him. It's not his fault, but it's an uninteresting character that you're playing. You're following up a beloved character that everyone wants to see more
Yeah,
of, and they keep trying to find ways to bring him back, right? Like, it was doomed to fail. It
yeah,
was the changes they made to the characters from the comics didn't need to happen because clearly the comic book versions were better. That
yeah,
happens a lot. I know that some people don't care about those things, but these characters were built for a reason and written in a certain way, and if you change it, it makes them fall flat. I if you could watch it on Disney Plus, you already paid for Disney Plus, sure, watch it. Would I recommend someone to pay for this? Absolutely the fuck not.
Mm-hmm. So PJ, what is using our cool kids rating
Yeah.
system? What is this?
This is, hold on, let me refresh everyone's memory
Sure.
so
Mm-hmm.
everyone knows. We have the Cool Kids official rating system. Banana Peel is 1 star. Mystery Meat is 2 stars. PB&J 3 stars. Pizza is 4 stars. Nuggets are 5 stars. And you can add a half a star by adding fries to any of them. I would give this movie. I would give the movie a banana peel and fries.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay, that's very low.
yeah.
I thought you were gonna go for a mystery meat. Okay,
I
just
would.
straight up. But
I
wow, banana peel and French fries. Damn,
the
that's
banana
bad.
peel. Yeah,
That's
the
bad.
banana peel and
That's
French
bad.
fries is all the first 45 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and then like that's the good stuff. Like if it was just
Yeah.
that, if it was a TV show and that was the first episode,
Mm-hmm.
that would get a much better rating,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
But then the rest of the movie happens, and I'm like, I don't care anymore.
Awful. Awful.
Yeah, it's just like if you're gonna make a movie, they spent money on this movie. Marvel movies are not cheap to make. They're they're not. If you're gonna put this much money into a movie, why like when you read this script? I don't know who was like, yeah, this we should put all the billions behind this one. No
Mm.
one sat in a room and was like, we can't do better.
It's one of those things that I think the behind the scenes is more interesting than the movie itself. And we said this a million times. They should have ended everything with Endgame, and then if you want to wrap up some loose ends, do some the TV shows, and then I always say celebrate like they do with the Harry Potter films. Celebrate it. Take 2 years off. People are still gonna love it. You celebrate it, you honor it, and then you reboot it. Like I think they're
Right.
rebooting it technically with Fantastic Four. And you started with the X-Men, but now it just seems like clunky and making people feel burnt out and lose interest.
I left that movie and I was like, well, I mean, there was a superhero in it, so I guess that was cool. It's cool to see Red Hulk. He didn't look great. The CGI was not great. But it is cool that you get to see all these characters in a movie that you never thought you'd get a chance to see in a movie. Like that stuff is always kind of cool to me. I always appreciate seeing it, but
Yeah.
give me a better movie. Give me a better
Hmm.
movie than this because
Well,
why do I want to go see Thunderbolts after seeing this? If this is a banana peel and fries, when Thunderbolts comes out, why do I want to spend money
yeah,
on it?
and this movie might hurt that movie from doing successful, even if it is good. Even if
Like
it's solid.
I
So,
don't think Fantastic
oh,
Four will feel any negative impacts from this movie being not so great because Fantastic Four is big enough to stand on its own.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
Thunderbolts having Bucky in it,
yeah, yeah,
feeling
yeah,
more connected to the Marvel universe than Fantastic Four is, really needs this movie to be good. So you go to see it, and you see this movie, be like, I don't want to see that Thunderbolt shit.
yeah, exactly.
I don't
But
know. I just they just get better writers. Someone needs to
I,
get these people in a room and sit them down and say, first of all, you're not better than Stan Lee.
well,
You're not. So stop trying to change what works and stick to the source.
hmm I agree, PJ, but that's why I think it's significant that I saw this film, and I have a question for you at the end of it. So, guys, I saw Fall Guy this past weekend. I rented it on I think Amazon, and this came out in May 2024, folks. Okay, it's called Fall Guy. It's directed by David Leitch. He made, get ready for this, guys. He actually co-directed John Wick. He just didn't get credit for it. He just
Really?
yep. He co-directed John Wick. He also directed Atomic Blonde, Deadpool 2, Hobbs and Shaw, Bullet Train, and his last current film, The Fall Guy, and it stars Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. Okay, so
Those are all pretty entertaining movies that you like.
yes. So this movie unfortunately did not do well in the box office. But before I think why it didn't do well, and I'm perplexed why it didn't do well, but here we go, just to give you guys a summary. So what happens is I'm going to use a real actor's name, but so Ryan plays a stuntman, and he actually he's like a body double for Aaron Taylor Johnson. He's the guy who plays
That's Quicksilver.
exactly. Thank you. I couldn't think of his name. Yeah. So he plays his character. Him. So this movie takes a lot of inspiration from like Deadpool, John Wick. There's a bit of a goof on Mad Max Fury Road. I'll tell you about that. The Hangover, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So anyway, they're like, you wouldn't really call them. They're not like Cliff Booth and can they play Leonardo DiCaprio's character in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but like they both know each other really well. They've been doing a bunch of movies together, body doubles. So the movie starts out with him like on set. There's a lot of behind the scenes because he's a stunt man. So
Right.
while he's on set, he falls in love with this cameraman, which is Emily Blunt, and she wants to work her way up to be a director. She's working her way. So he's like madly in love. Everything's going right in his life. I got my girl. I got my dream job. Anyway, he gets injured, and because of his injury, he gets like very depressed and like almost like Deadpool, where he doesn't feel worthy for her anymore. He kind of goes ghost on her, right? So now he's like valeting cars. He quit the industry because of his injury. So what happens is the the producer of one of the movies that he always worked with goes, Emily Blunt wants you back because she got her big shot, her big chance to direct a movie. She wants you to be the stuntman. He's like, oh my God, maybe she still likes me. Let me try to win her heart back. So when he arrives there, what he's really there for is because Aaron Taylor Johnson has gone missing. And so the producer of the film goes, look, I need you to find him. He's like, I'm just a stuntman. I'm not a real detective, so he's like, she's like, well, call the police. Why are you getting to me? She's like, well, no. Because like, if we get the police involved, there's going to be bad press. And then the movie's going to get canceled and that can hurt your former love's like career. We don't want to do that. So, and Emily Blunt doesn't know that she knows is missing, but she's at this point in the film, she doesn't realize Ron came back. It was kind of like she was blind. So why are you back on set? So anyway, he has to keep it a secret, Ryan Gosling, why he's really back there. So his job is to find out where this guy went. So that's where like the mystery hangover part is, like, where did this guy go? And he's not, like I said, he's not a James Bond. I know this movie's based itself a TV show where he did. I haven't seen it. I didn't really do too much research on it, but from what I know, he's a stuntman, but at night he moonlights as a really actual like private detective. This is kind of the opposite, where he is a stuntman, but he is not a detective. He just gets roped into being one. So, and because he played him as a body double and he knows him so well, despite them not really being too friendly with each other, the producer of the film thinks that Ryan knows him so that he can retrace his steps. Like, oh, you know what kind of music he likes, or what kind of drugs he likes, or parties he goes to. So that's what kind of puts the movie in motion. So the movie is kind of like half obviously an action film, right? Because he gets into trouble trying to find his other half, I guess you could say. It's also part romantic comedy. The chemistry between these two is infectious. I did some research and they already signed up on the movie to do this together. But last year's Oscars, that's when you had Oppenheimer and you had Barbie. At one point, those two, I just do this from memory. Those two were on stage. They presented an award and they were goofing on each other. She was like, "Well, you were just in Barbie." He's like, "Well, you wrote on our coattails, from Barbenheimer." And I'm like, "Oh man," So when I saw this movie, like, "Oh man, maybe someone saw that chemistry. Like, yep, let's put those two in a movie." But they already signed to do it. But obviously, they were friendly, and their chemistry then was still evident in the film. So yeah, those two just pop off on the screen. And I love Ryan Gosling. I think he's really great at comedy. I think he's underrated as a comedian. And he obviously does great with the dramatic roles too, like Blue Valentine and
Right.
Blade Runner 2049, and Emily
Yep.
Blunt's amazing. So
She doesn't get enough big roles. She
yeah,
needs one big breakout role.
yeah.
Really needs one.
But yeah, she's amazing. So yeah, folks, all I can say is like this movie. If you like Deadpool, you're gonna like this movie. If you like John Wick films, you're gonna like this movie. If you like The Hangover, that's where the mystery is because you're trying to figure out where this guy went. I don't want to spoil too much, but it is funny. It's comical what happens. Um, and I said the reason why I say it's kind of it's a goof on Mad Max because there's like what's happening in the movie is she's directing it's called like basically it's like Cowboys versus Aliens,
Right.
So you're seeing them film an action movie. That action movie is basically like a goof on Mad Max. Like they have like they do the car stunts, which is really cool. But like you're seeing that's what they're filming. So he's dressed up as an alien, and he's a cowboy. So it's that part's funny. But if you like the Mad Max aesthetic at points, you'll see that. So it's really good. But yeah, I don't really have really much to say. I think what the main reason I wanted to talk about this film, because not only do I want to recommend it, is because like why didn't it really do well in the box office? And before I get into that, the only negatives I could say for this film is right at the opening scene is great, and then it gets a little slow because they want to set up the plot and all that. But after that, it's about 2 hours on the dot. And I think they really should have gotten to the mystery part before anything, but that's really no negatives. But I'm like trying to say to myself, well, everyone keeps saying, oh, I want more action films. I want more original films. And we get that, and then no one came to see it. So what the heck went wrong? And my only, idea why it didn't really make its, I think it made its money back. I think it broke even, but it didn't explode was number one. I think trailers aren't the same anymore. I think that's number one. I think the trailer didn't really emphasize the mystery part. I think they want to keep that a secret. But sometimes you got to just say like, he's on the mission.
You got to tell people what the movie is.
Yeah, you can't do that because that can hurt a lot of films. And it's funny. The same thing happened to him with the movie Blade Runner 2049. They kept it very vague, and that movie is definitely a mystery. And I think that's one of the reasons why that movie got, didn't do that well in the box office. It became a cult hit. But that trailer, if you ever see the one for 2049, they don't really share. They keep it so like ambiguous where they should have said, well, this is what the hell it is. So I think that's what hurt this film. They don't really tell you the mystery component. They just kind of sell it as a romantic comedy.
Right.
And now people might say, well, Mike, it's not a franchise. True. However, think about John Wick. John Wick wasn't a franchise. That was a sleeper hit. John Wick is a great example of how the first one wasn't this, box office huge. It was like, I think it made him money back. It was actually made for relatively low budget.
It was a low budget movie, the first.
And then it got great reviews, but no one went to see it. It was just completely word of mouth. And obviously, when the second one came out, it was a smash. So,
well, that had the benefit of being led by Keanu Reeves.
Yes, of course. But like I said, the first movie wasn't really a hit. I mean, it was, but not. Like I remember seeing like posters. I'm like, what the heck is that? I actually first time I saw it was actually on home video, and then after that, I saw the other ones in theaters. But PJ, people are keep asking, and yes, folks, I would definitely recommend this film. I would give it in terms of our rating system. True Blue, a pizza. A pizza. It's worth it. Yeah, it's solid. It's funny, man. It's just
pizza.
Yeah, and lot of it.
That's a good rating.
Yeah, it made me laugh out loud. There's some scenes that made me like laugh. Like I don't want to like spoil, but and one of the cool things is like they do stunts, and it's stunts. Like you when you're watching, okay, they're doing a stunt. One of my favorite scenes, not only spoiler anything, but like they take a boat and like they ram it, like they do like a boat jump,
Right.
And I just like like they do a really great job with like music in this, like, and the music with that going on, I was laughing. I was like, oh my God. I was like, it was just like really silly, but it worked. But all the action scenes are like funny, kind of remind me of like that kind of like Jackie Chan thing where like he's fighting and like everything keeps going wrong. Where like he's always at a disadvantage. Clearly he's just a stuntman. He's not a really like a martial artist. He just plays one. So you really see him like improvising and like a lot of running away, which you would actually do, right, if you were caught in these things. And he uses his wit to outsmart his enemies, which just makes sense. So it's a lot of it's funny, man. Like there was a lot of good moments, and I think, you know, I know I'm going all over the place, but it just reminded me, PJ. I think what also helps this movie a lot too. This might sound weird, but I call like people like Emily Blunt, Ryan Gosling, you know, like Robert Downey Jr. I call them like professional actors, and what I mean that is like I feel like they can do anything. They're just like, if you hire them, you're gonna get a good spot, and like because there's some dramatic moments, especially with where they're kind of confessing each other's love to one another. Like it's really heartfelt, and like a few weeks ago, I saw The Lost City that was with like Sandra Bullock, Brad Pitt, and Channing Tatum.
Never
That
saw that.
movie, yeah, don't. It's not a bad movie. It's just not. It's not really. Watch it if you have nothing else to do. It's completely forgettable. But like in that movie, there's like a touching moment where you want Channing Tatum to kind of confess his love, but like he can't. He can pull off comedy, Channing Tatum, but he can't pull off the drama.
Right.
Even though if it is a romantic comedy, it comes off a bit like woo, a
Yeah.
little like oof. That's not his strength. Even if it is a romantic comedy, he can't pull off like that dramatic role. But anyway, I'm just why didn't this movie do well? Like I said, maybe it's the franchise component, the trailer. I don't know, but people keep asking for this, but no one went to see it, and I
I
don't
have a
know
few
why.
theories.
Why
I have a
didn't it
few
do it?
theories
And
on
this is
why it
the
didn't
guy
do well.
from Deadpool that had everything.
Here's
John
what I
Wick,
think.
the whole shebang, PJ. Why?
Here's what I think. One, I think the marketing was lacking. I didn't see a tremendous amount of marketing trailers, anything for this
Sure.
movie,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that was part of it. I think I've never really watched the old
Mm-hmm.
show before my time, right?
Yep. Yep.
But what I think is, did that turn people off, knowing it was based on what was a campy '70s show? Maybe people didn't want to,
Yeah,
you
maybe.
know.
I don't think people even. I didn't even know that it was based off that. It wasn't
I knew it
until
was,
afterwards.
but that could have turned people off, not wanting to see another reboot or
Potentially.
something.
Yep.
That could have,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll tell you the other one. And I know you're a big fan of Ryan Gosling.
Mm-hmm.
I find him so unlikable.
What?
I find him so unlikable.
What? Really?
Yep.
I'm stunned because I think he's funny. Look, the guy's attractive. You know what I mean? Like I would also say like he's kind of like you see Hugh Jackman. Man, I want to look like that. You know what I mean? Like he's ripped. You know what I mean? So I guess that's like kind of like Schwarzenegger Stallone thing. Oh man, like that machismo thing. I mean, he pulls it off well. You
I
know, and
have. I find him boring, and
really,
I find him boring, and I find him very flat.
wow. Okay, I'm surprised because I love a lot. I love the movie Drive. I can Blue Valentine.
Yeah, I don't like him.
That's the
I
Nice
think
Guys. You
him
ever see
being.
the Nice Guys with him and Russell Crowe? They play two detectives.
Yeah, I don't like him.
That's amazing.
I don't
To each
like him.
their own.
And I
So,
think maybe him being in it turned people off. That's the reason
ah,
I didn't rush out to see it.
right. Well, that's you. I don't think.
Uh,
I don't think Ryan Gosling is. I think he usually his movies make bank. You know what I mean? I think he's a bankable actor in that department.
maybe people are finally catching on to what I've been saying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Don't see those Ryan Gosling movies.
Right. Mm-hmm. But comparing it to just Brave New World, it just seems like I think Brave New World is going to make more money than this.
Brave New World's gonna make all the money. All the Marvel movies make all the money.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Well, it might do a good first week, oh my God, Captain America: Brave New World, but I don't think I think it's gonna die out. I think it's gonna have weeks of
No, I
building,
don't think it's gonna make $1 billion, but I
and I
think
think
it's
it's
gonna
gonna
make
be on
money.
streaming in 3 weeks. Honestly,
You think it's gonna be on streaming in 3 weeks? The Brave New World?
yeah, I don't think it's gonna. It's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be in theaters that long though, bro. What, a month tops? I'll be surprised if it be in a month. It's not gonna make. Uh, you know,
It's tough to say because the movie shouldn't make that much money, but it has that Marvel backing, so people are
Yeah,
gonna
I
they're
don't know.
gonna
What was the
flock to
last
it.
one? Well, Deadpool, I don't even count. But what what was the one before that? Like,
One before,
was it uh the one with
trying to think of the last one because I get confused now between which one was a show and which one was a movie. It wasn't Love and Thunder.
no, I was gonna say the other one, but that came out the one with Black Widow with all those
Let's
folks.
look.
But that's a while ago. That's like 2 years ago
Let's
now.
see what movie was last. MCU movie order. Let's see. Let's find out.
Folks, what do you think?
Uh, the Marvels. It's probably
Oh
the
wow,
Marvels.
that was like was that no? That was in September, right?
That was
October?
in November of 2023. Was the Marvels?
Right. I mean, that movie did not do
That
well.
movie was terrible.
Right, and
That movie
that was
straight up
that was on streaming not that much after it got released, bro. So I don't think this
Yeah.
movie might be a little better
And
than
then
that. I
and
don't
then
see
after
it.
the Marvels was Deadpool and Wolverine, and then Captain America,
Right.
and then Thunderbolts comes out May 5th, and then Fantastic Four is July 25th.
Mm.
So
Yikes.
I mean, when you look at
So
the movies, it's gonna make money. How much money did the Marvels make? I would watch this over the Marvels.
right. Well, that's not saying much. But
No, that's not
it goes back to my point is like, why is this movie that is overall original? You know what I mean? Good acting. You know, maybe despite how you feel about Ryan Gosling, but
right.
it's funny. It's 2 hours. Thank God. You know, great action. Like I said, people who made legit films. It's just crazy. People say they want this stuff and they don't go see it.
Captain America
So
made $40 million on Friday. So it's up to 40 million. I don't have Saturday's numbers yet. But if I were to look at, say, the Marvels, which is not as on, I would definitely rank this above the Marvels. The Marvels made, let's see how much money that movie made. It made worldwide 206 million. Domestic, it made 84 million.
yeah,
So
that's not good at all.
that's not good. But if this movie made $40 million in one day, it's going to do better than the Marvels.
Okay.
I mean, I think it'll do better than the Marvels. Do I think it's going to make Deadpool Wolverine money? No.
No way.
Not at all.
But I do think it's going to go on streaming sooner rather than later. But PJ, as we're winding down, here's my thing, PJ. I'm gonna pitch it to you. Here's my idea to make movies like I'll say special again. Because I feel like we always talk about this subject. Everything seems a little right off right now in the entertainment industry, especially with movies, because no one's going to movie theaters anymore. Everything's clunky, and I think they need to. We talked about this, but I was a little bit more specific, especially more of the action film drama. I think we need smaller. This goes. You could just with the comic book films too. Smaller, thriller type action films. You got to bring back the Jackie Chan, the Jean-Claude Van Damme, like 90 minutes, under 2 hours, like quick pacing. You just get the thing rolling, like keep it simple. It doesn't have to be like this giant like thing at the end. Just have like the Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. Like he's got to do the same beats, man. Everyone wants it, He gets introduced, he gets beat up, he meets the Kung Fu master, you get the montage, you get the final battle. I'm kind of down.
I don't think we're ever going to see movies like that in the theaters again. Maybe streaming.
Well, that's all right. Well, here's my thing. Exactly, PJ. Bring that back to stream, but you do it high quality. Don't do it like what I call it the Netflix like filter. Like it kind of just feels like a movie like what was the one with Eddie Murphy? Beverly Hills Cop. It was fun. I enjoyed that film, but there is a sense of like a TV movie type feel. They just take it. Just okay. You could develop it a little bit more, but keep it with those guidelines. And I think you can do it. And I think a big thing, PJ, that will really help movies in general. Hear my idea. Okay, I know this is a business thing, but I think it could work. When you release it on streaming, you for a certain maybe for a month, you put it on all streaming platforms. The movie's on everything, and then after that month, it's only exclusively on Netflix or whatever it is. Right. You just try to make it, because I think it's killing movie where it's only on this one place to see it and it's killing it. Just you're not going to make that much money. I know you want people to come to you, but I'm telling you, if everyone started saying, look, if the studios really came together and said, look, we got to give each other a piece of this pie, it's the only way it's going to work. Just like movie studios, Disney borrows, Warner Brothers studio backlot. Right. They all borrow each other's props and stages, actors, the whole shebang. What's the big deal about how you distribute the film? You can help each other, and if you do it for a limited time, just so everyone wins, everyone turns each other on, what's going to happen, just do it. Let's do it. And they can make money. I really think it could help make money. I mean, what else are you going to do?
I think the reason they don't do that is because then I don't know.
I'm
I think
sure there's
because
licensing, there's a lot of red
licensing,
tape.
and they all own their own streaming platform, so that's just cheap to not have to put it on other ones because it's just going on their own. Like if you're Disney, you have Disney Plus. If you're Fox, you're going to go on Hulu. If you're or Disney at this point, but if you're Sony, I don't know. Sony goes to maybe Paramount.
Yeah, I believe so.
I think
Yeah.
they're with Paramount. You know, Warner Brothers is always going to go straight to Mac because they all
Right.
have their own streaming service now. No one is ever going to like split it and put it on a competitor streaming service because I think the only way you really make money on these things is if people have to sign up.
Yeah, but
Because think about it, you're not making any box office on a movie that's
exactly.
so.
That's what I'm saying.
If you put it on all these different streaming platforms, the way you're making money, I guess, is they expect people to sign up for your service to watch this movie. Is that how it works now? I don't know how it works.
I believe so. I just for me, I never said, oh, I have to get HBO Max because I want to see that movie. That never crosses my mind. I have to get that to see that movie. I'm like, oh, I'll just wait till I could get it, like order it, like on a pay-per-view kind of thing, you know?
Right.
Like, I don't know. I just think some brave soul is going to make an independent film and they're going to put it on everything and it's going to change the landscape. And that's how it's going to work. Because, you know,
if it's an independent studio or if it's not a
Right.
big studio who has their own streaming platform, then yeah, put it on
Right.
everything. But you're
Yes.
never going to see like a Warner Brothers movie be on everything.
I know, but how else are
You're
you
just never going to see it happen.
how are we going to get good movies back, PJ? Like I said, we made a good movie with The Fall Guy, and there's been other ones too, but no one goes to see them. What are we going to do?
Because people say they want things original. They don't. They don't.
Yeah.
They just want more Marvel movies.
Right.
That's what the people want.
People say they want like a really nice dinner, but at the end of the day, just want a Big Mac.
Yep, that's true.
Oh my God, how sad. But PJ, I guess my last thing is, would you recommend Brave New World? I know you gave the rating system and all that kind of stuff. I know you said you wouldn't pay for it. Would you recommend just watching it in general?
Look, if you have Disney Plus and it's streaming and you don't have to pay for it, yeah, watch it. Why not? Because if you already have Disney Plus anyway, you might as well watch what they put on there. If you had to buy it to watch it, I would not spend money to see this again.
Yeah.
But if you have it on, if it's streaming anyway, there's no reason not to at least keep up with what's going to happen in the universe. If you're into these movies, you want to know the next chapter, you got to watch it. So I wouldn't say not to, but I wouldn't go out of my way to watch this movie ever again. It's a one and done. Once you've seen it once, you get it.
Yeah. And then in terms of the Fall Guy, I would recommend it. You know, we saw it on Amazon. I think we had to order it. It's like $5, you know. And I think every platform, I'm not sure if all platforms have this, everything should have a pay-per-view. Even a TV series, everything should be a la carte if you wanted to do that. Have that as an option. But that's just me. But yeah, I would definitely, if you have an extra $5 laying around, do it. Or if you have it, it's available. You know, I have Amazon Prime. I don't know what the hell it is. Hulu, I don't know what it's called. Amazon, Hulu. I don't know what it's called. I get confused all the names. But whatever we have, it wasn't available on. You had to order it. But yeah, I would. If you have an extra $5 rolling around, you want to watch something fun, you know, and it's definitely worth it. You know, like don't be doing your house chores just to have it on in the background. Like, I'm gonna spend this $5, watch it. But yeah, it's good. I would definitely recommend. It's funny. I laughed out loud. I really did. So, but we shall see.
Here's an interesting fact for you. Not a fact so much, but just an interesting thing. I am going to see a movie on Monday, but I do not know what movie I'm going to see. Have you ever heard of these things that AMC does? Let me get you the exact thing it's called. AMC Theater does this. I don't know if you have to be a Stubbs member or whatever to do it, but it is called, I'm pulling up my thing, Screen Unseen. AMC Screen Unseen. The tickets are like $8, so they're cheaper than a normal ticket.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's way cheap.
What you're gonna do is you're gonna see a movie that isn't released yet. So like it may come out in March.
Right.
Or maybe the end of February or something. So it's not out yet, but you get to see it a couple of weeks early. But they don't tell you what movie it's going to be until you get there.
That's interesting. Okay.
So all I know about this movie is that it's an hour and 47 minutes and that it's rated R. That's all I know. And that it has not been released yet. Those are the only two facts
Huh.
I know about this movie.
The only thing I can think of is that movie, like, I don't know if it came out, The Monkey. It's like a monkey hand or the monkey.
That was one of the ones I was thinking. Could it be The Monkey? That was one of the ones that I thought maybe it could be, because I don't know what else is coming out.
Yeah,
but
it's
that-
horror. Mm-hmm.
They do it. It looks like once every few weeks. I might just start doing it. It's $8. Is it?
Yeah.
And I'm sure the theaters aren't going to be all that packed because no one knows what they're going to see. Why not go? And it looks like they only do it on Monday nights.
Mm-hmm.
So on a Monday, if every couple of Monday nights, $8 to go see a brand new movie, I don't care what I'm going to see.
Yeah, yeah.
I think this is such a great idea.
Yeah. Obviously, they're doing it on probably the slowest night of the week.
Yeah,
They get to make some cash. They keep a bit of mystery, obviously. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
great idea. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I've never heard of this until the other day. I was just looking to see, because apparently there's a new Looney Tunes movie coming out,
Mm.
and I wanted to see the Looney Tunes movie. I said, "Oh, can I? Is it too early to buy tickets?" Because you never know anymore. They release these ticket sales months ahead for everything now. So I was scrolling through and I realized I couldn't buy that, but then I saw this Screen Unseen thing and I didn't know what it was. I was like, "What is Screen Unseen? Is it some sort of podcast? And what is this?"
Right, right, right.
And then I opened it up and it was like, no, it's a mystery movie that hasn't been released yet. You don't know what it's going to be. I thought this is the greatest thing I ever heard of.
Yeah, I love that idea.
This
It's kind of like a
will get
blind
me
date.
into the theaters more than the actual movie. I
Mhm.
don't care if the movie is terrible. I will still do this every time, hoping for a good movie.
Right. Mm-hmm. And it's $8. That's the thing. It's $8. Oh,
Yeah.
I remember paying $8, $8.50 actually, to
Yeah.
see a movie.
For $8, I don't care what.
Now it's
movie they
$20
show.
to see a movie. Mhm.
Yeah. I thought this was such a great idea. I don't know what I'm going to see. I can't wait to find out.
Yeah. Mhm. Well, yeah. Well, something we can explore in the
Yeah.
future. But yeah, folks, check out these both these movies. If you're watching on YouTube, comment, let us know. But yeah, look forward
Yeah.
to
Don't forget to
hearing you.
like, subscribe, leave comments, leave reviews. All these things help us get out into the world.
Yep. You know the deal, folks. Same time, same table.
Have a good one.
Boys and girls, lunchtime is over. For more information, visit their website at coolkidslunchtable.podbean.com. Follow the boys on all social media platforms. Just search Cool Kids Lunch Table Podcast. Now get to class before you get detention.